Is there anything more magical than sitting in a virtual world and watching as the sun sets only to have the night greet you a few moments later? Well, today we're going to learn how to do that ourselves with the day-night cycle and using Adaptive Probe Volume. Now, in order to make a day-night cycle, first we're going to want to create a new project. So I'm going to go to New Project, and what we're going to be using is the Universal Render Pipeline template. So if we click this, you can download the template, and once it's done downloading, just simply name it and create the project. It's pretty Shrimple. Now, once you have downloaded and launched it, you will be greeted with this. This is the template. I'm going to go ahead and close this window over here, and I'm also going to move some things around. I like to have this layout, my own custom layout I do. It's just what I am comfortable using. And you'll see now I changed the layout, nothing crazy, just some of these windows are in different spots. Here's where the hierarchy is now. This is where the project is. This is where the inspector and lighting window are. And if you don't have a lighting window, you just come down over here to rendering. There it is. And then you just hit lighting, and that will open up the lighting window. Now, for this project, we're going to be using the garden scene. So I will open this up really quick and talk to you about it. And you'll see the garden scene has a lot of things going on in it. We have some indoor, we have some outdoor, and we have lighting everywhere. So it is going to be pretty ideal for creating a day-night cycle. Now, for this scene, I'm actually going to duplicate this and create a separate scene. That way we just have the base garden scene we can always go back to in the future. And I'm just going to call this something like garden day night. And then double click it just to make sure we open up the correct scene. If you want to make sure you are in the right scene and have loaded it, you can just read it right over here in the hierarchy. With that all set, now we need to get this working using Adaptive Probe Volumes. That's how we're going to produce the day-night cycle. And Adaptive Probe Volumes are a new feature of Unity 6, and they are very, very cool. They allow us to store the information of indirect lighting. So it pre-calculates it, stores it in these little tiny light probes, and that way when we have objects that move dynamically through our scene, it can then use that pre-calculation in that light probe. So first thing is first, we need to get our graphic settings right. So if we go up to Edit, Project Settings, and come in here under graphics, you'll see we don't have one selected, and I am just gonna go for PC high and confirm. Now, next, I want to adjust some of the settings in this directly. So if I click that, you'll see it's opened it up over here in my projects folder, and I can select it and make some changes and adjustments here. First big one we need to change is the light probe system. So we come down to here and just change it to Adaptive Probe Volumes. So now we are able to use Adaptive Probe Volumes in our scenes once this loads for a bit. We're also going to turn on Enable Lighting Scenarios and then also Enable Lighting Scenario Blending. So this is what we are going to be using for our day-night cycle. Without this activated, we wouldn't be able to do a day-night cycle. Now, if you've enjoyed learning about the day and night cycle so far, with the right skills, imagine what else you could build. If you've enjoyed learning about game development, you might also be interested in furthering your education, which is why I am excited to introduce the sponsor of today's video, Southern New Hampshire University, who can help with just that. SNHU has one of the largest accredited nonprofit online degree offerings in the country. They offer an online game programming and development degree that can help you prepare for opportunities in the gaming industry. You'll learn how to create immersive and interactive experiences, and all the courses are taught by a faculty with real-world experience, so you'll be gaining practical skills relevant to today's job market. SNHU is also radically affordable with some of the lowest online tuition rates in the nation. Plus, when you graduate, they'll be able to help you when you begin your job hunt with their career services. So if you're ready to change your life, make sure to click the link in the description below or visit snhu.edu/shrimp and fill out the form to receive more information about their game programming and development degree. Thank you so much, Southern New Hampshire University, for sponsoring this video. Now let's go back to learning about more of this day and night cycle. So next, we need to adjust our lighting settings, and we do that over here under the lighting window. And again, if you don't have your lighting window, you just come over here to Window, Rendering Lighting. Now for the lighting settings, I'm going to come over into here, and with the mixed lighting, I am actually going to switch to baked indirect just because that's what I'm most familiar with. That's what I use when I do VR development, and all these other settings I think are okay for now. And then if we come over to Adaptive Probe Volumes, we should be able to look through here. The one that we're really interested in for this tutorial is the lighting scenarios. So this is where we're going to create our day-night cycle. We can add more different blendings and different ways we can bake them. I'm going to go ahead and delete these for now, and I am just going to rename this one Night. Now, before we start baking everything, we need to get adaptive probe volumes in this bad boy, which although we added it to the project, we still need to place them. So if we come over here and go to lighting, we can add adaptive probe volumes, and then we can go ahead and select this, switch over to our inspector, and then we will bake our probe volume. Now, before we hit that, I want to make sure right now it's set to local. I'm going to be lazy and just say scene, and so this will bake the probe volumes for the entirety of the scene. Now, if you want to go into more detail about adaptive probe volumes and how they work, you can do so in my other video on adaptive probe volumes, which I covered over here. But for now, I'm just going to bake these and we're going to get this thing going. Now, it looks like I am getting some sort of error here, and if I go back to lighting, for some reason it looks like my night scenario disappeared. So I wonder what that is about. That is very interesting. So I'm going to go back and just change this to night and see if this gets deleted again. All right, I'll come back here. All right, it seems to be baking now. So that's I don't know if that's a bug, if that resets when you add an adaptive probe volume, but if you run into that error, it looks like that's what caused it, is the scenario being deleted when I added in the adaptive probe volumes. Now, after your light probes stop baking, we should be able to see and make sure that they have actually baked into the scene. If we come over here, go to analysis, and then we go to rendering debugger, we should be able to go down to probe volumes, and if you want, we can display the cells, the bricks, and the probes. And you can see the probe showed, but the other two didn't, and that's just because I do not have my gizmos on. And so we can see in the scene that they are baked in. We have our light probes here, but we have not done the full bake of the lighting yet, so let's do that next. Now, in order to fully bake our lighting here, all we need to do is come over into lighting, and we have to hit generate lighting. But you know what? I just remembered there is one more step that we want to take before we generate all the lighting here. Now, before we go over and start baking our scenes for day and night, I'm going to show you something here. So if you look over here, I actually did already do some baking as an experiment, and you can see this is supposed to be nighttime, this is supposed to be day. So only some of the objects are going into the nighttime, and then when we go to the day, it looks like all of them are illuminating pretty well, but still some are left out. So this is all because of our mesh renderers. Some in the scene are contributing to global illumination and some are not. So what we need to do before we bake all this is make sure that all the mesh renderers that are going to be in the light and day are going to contribute to global illumination. And I think it will just be easier if we just set them all to that. Now, in order to select all the mesh renderers in the scene that we want to change to contribute to global illumination, we would have to go throughout all these and select them, but instead of doing that, we can hit this little button right here, and then we can hit this little plus sign, and we can look for mesh renderer. Once selected, we can then grab onto all of them. So all I did was minimize that and make them smaller, go through here, shift click, and then I'm going to select the inspector, select root, and then hit enter. Now you can see here we have the mesh renderer. I can go ahead and say yes to all the children, and that'll allow them to all contribute to global illumination. And on top of that, you know what? I'm just going to make them all static as well. Finally, I am going to set this to light probes. Now that those are all set, I'm going to exit out of this. Let's see, let's go back into lighting. And, you know, since we're experimenting and we are trying things out with our light maps, I am actually going to lower the light map resolution. I've already done it before I recorded this. So originally it was at 24. I'm going to reduce it down to about 6 just to reduce our light map baking. And then once you finally have your scene baked out and it feels good, you can always increase the resolution. It just increases the time it takes to render everything. So for now, let's come over here. It is for the night scenario. A few other things I want to make sure I change just so I get a better idea of what's going on in the scene. So I'm going to change it into the shaded draw mode so we can see what the lighting will look like, especially after we're done baking it. And then on top of that, you know what else? I have had the skybox turned off and it does have a bit of an effect. And we do have a nighttime scene, but we're going to be doing a daytime scene as well. So for simplicity's sake, for now, what I'm going to do is just get rid of this skybox. Just go with none. And in the future, I'm gonna have to probably make a tutorial on how we can rotate the skybox and change it from day to night. But right now, I just want to focus on the lighting and getting that going. So with all of that out of the way, I think it's time to hit generate lighting. So I'm gonna go ahead and press that. So now that we have baked the nighttime scene, it looks okay to me. It is time to bake the daytime scene. So all we have to do is add a little plus here. I'm gonna call this day, and then we should, that is a lot of things opened up. All right, let's see here. All right, let us open up lighting. We want directional lighting because that is going to be our sun. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate it, and I am going to call this one, I just want to keep this as reference in the future, that this is where the night positioning has been, and I'm just gonna go ahead and deactivate that. And so this is gonna be our daytime light, and let me rotate it so it's as if the sun has come up and it's coming from a different direction. That looks good to me. Let's increase the intensity. You know, I'm gonna slap a good 5 on there, see what that does. And then we can change the coloring a little bit, maybe to a yellow, but we can keep it in kind of the same little sphere here. And then with that set, we're gonna come back here, make sure we are selecting day, and then generate lighting. All right, and now that that's baking done, you can actually see all of the things that are, I mean, it looks like daytime. It looks pretty nice here. Next thing is we need to blend them, and we can actually get a bit of a preview of what that looks like. If I came over here and went to analysis and then the rendering debugger, you can then come over into the probe volumes, and you would check which scenario you want to blend with. So right now we already have the daytime selected, and so we're gonna blend with the night, and you can slowly slide this over and you'll see it transitions into night. So that actually looks pretty good. That's really, really impressive for the little amount of work that we had to do. Now, if you want to experiment and get this transitioning from day into night in real time, then you'll want to check out Unity's script that they provide to explain how we can bake and then transition in between all of these things. I've actually grabbed that code right there and I have added it into my project. And let's see here, scenario 1. So let's see, we're going to be transitioning from day to night. And then it looks like here we have a number of cells to blend per frame. So I think the lower that number, it will allow us to save some performance because we're not updating all of them in a single frame, but at the same time, it might make your transitions look a little chunkier or slower. And then we have the blending factor. So this is, you know, blending between the two scenes. So if I hit play, we should be able to see this in real time. Let's see, you know what, we'll just go with the scene view here. And you can see here as I move the blending factor, that's more of the daytime, and then into the nighttime. And the script's not that complicated. Let me go ahead and open it up. And you can see here, they just kind of grab all these components that they need. And then in the update function, it's just constantly checking. It's passing in the scenario 2 and the blending factor. And then also here, it looks like at the start, it sets the number of cells to blend per frame. It looks like that is how you could update. You would just over time in an update function, maybe transition this over to one blending factor. So yeah, if you were using that update function, you could just ping pong back and forth between these two blending modes. I mean, you might want to add in more scenarios, so you could have like a day, night, or, you know, in between. So sunset, sunrise, day, night. And so you would get that kind of full effect of the sun rotating throughout the day. But that is the very beginnings of how to create a day and night cycle. Let me know if you found this helpful. Thank you again to Southern New Hampshire University for sponsoring this video so I can keep creating free content for you guys. Big thanks to my patrons as well. Without you, I also can't do this. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.